Ah, mes amis, tu es là encore. Ah, bienvenue, c'est notre journée en France. On est là à la Louvre et on est là pour le perspective académique. Et on va emmener les nouveaux amis. I have some new friends in some shotcasters. I've got Mark Z et Pastry Time. How you doing, my friends?
Pop filter, I'm so excited.
Ah, c'est une jolie journée en France ici. Today, my friends, I have a little bit of art for you. And we're going to go through trois artist interpretations. Donc, on va commencer là, mes amis. You are going to tell me what is the picture, and at the end, we tell us what the overall story is, okay?
Okay.
Les chatcasters. All right, we start.
Okay. Pastry, are you good at art?
Yeah. Wow. No, absolutely not. I am like, whatever the opposite of a visual learner is, that's me. I'm like visually, I have good eyesight. That's the only thing I can do visually that's impressive.
D'accord, mes amis, d'accord. On commence. Je sais,
okay.
The artist needs a little bit of time, and he is very stressed.
I was about to say, it looked like it was like just a white background. I was like, is this supposed to be like the mind of a split push rise? It's just empty. There's nothing in it. Now I see.
Yes. Exactly, my friend.
That looks like Lee Sin?
Oh, that's definitely a Lee Sin kick.
Okay.
I respect it.
Yes. You see, there's people over here.
He's kicking very small children. I don't know. Was there like a Vex? Was there like a Yordle in the game? There's no Yordles.
En France, c'est pas les petits enfants. Okay. It was a kick. Okay. We're going to move onwards. Onwards and upwards, my friends. Okay.
This might be offensive depending on the size of these drawings.
Ça va, mes amis, d'accord, on continue. Oh non. Ça va. On a ça.
That hand's big, that might be me.
C'est presque. Non, c'était ça.
Right, it's a Lee Sin. This is
okay.
He's got the headband on.
Donc,
that's not me, that's Lee Sin.
Oui.
Okay, so we got a kick and we got Lee.
C'est Lee Sin. D'accord.
All right. I mean, I can guess. I think with just two, but I guess we need the third picture to know for sure.
The third one, my friend, that is the masterpiece. Okay, you stick with me. Okay. Here we go. C'est une X. Et c'est quelque chose. It is something you know very well.
X box.
And what are you?
Xbox 360. That's what it is. You're shilling Microsoft products on.
You are what they call a boomer. Xbox 360, c'est quoi?
Casters. It's the
you.
two.
Oh,
yeah,
Pastry Time. Ah, c'est trop bien. C'était XU. Ah, oui, le Lee Sin.
Yeah, at least XU's Lee Sin's pretty good, I feel like.
I assume, yeah, we're talking about XU's Lee Sin, the kick to win the game, as well as that being his name. I thought you were going to do a U after the X. I thought, or maybe
C'est toi, c'est you.
I didn't know if you were going to draw like one of our X's or something as a way for us to get the X part. Would be a lot more research.
Non, mon ami, on va pas aller dans ce coin-là. Ah, mes amis, merci beaucoup. Ah, c'était trop bien de t'avoir ici. It was good to have you on Le Perspective Académique. And I'm sure I'll see you later. I have to go. I've got stuff to do in France.
Yeah, au revoir.
I don't even know how to say anything in French. It's of the European languages, it's probably my least well known of like literally all of them maybe.
Interesting. So it's even like I feel really bad because two of my sisters and my fiance can speak fluent French, and I'm just like the idiot eating garbage and doesn't know any language other than English. And let's be honest, I barely know this one.
Yeah, I mean, of course I don't know that, but at least like I took Spanish growing up. I have Polish family, German family. I have like I feel like everyone knows a little bit of Italian just because you order Italian food all the time. Like, I don't know.
I mean, you're from the East Coast, right? So obviously,
yeah. So
pretty high presence over there.
I feel like of all a lot of those major languages you're gonna learn, like even like there's Danish players in League. There's a lot of Danes. You pick up some of that along the way.
We have French players
nothing.
too. I don't want to be that guy.
I mean, I know we have French players. There's a lot of LFL players, and the LFL is huge. I should learn French, I guess.
Maybe, I'm sure. Maybe a friend from the Louvre can come back and give you some language lessons.
I'll be honest. I hated language in school. It's probably my least favorite subject.
What was your favorite subject?
Easy math and physics.
Math and physics, yeah, that lines up.
Nerd.
Those were not. I was the opposite of that. English, and bad English. As I believe we do have Mazel back. I don't know where he went, but I think we have Mazel back in the mix. So we'll welcome him back in. Welcome back. We found you.
I started hearing you talking about math stuff in school, and I wanted to walk away and not come back. I don't know.
That's how I feel.
I
know. We'll just walk away.
Why are we welcoming you back? I thought this is your first time.
The
other guy was a French guy. Who are...
I heard some more French coming from the street. I still don't know why they invite that guy back all the time. I tell them every time, I just need to get up. I need to get some food in me. I just need to get a little bit of relaxation, a little reset.
Get a baguette.
And then I just start hearing French come across the speakers. I'm like, okay, well, I guess they did that. They have a replacement for me at least. But anyways, guys, what a game number one. Like, what happened? I don't the fact that the game just ended at the drop of a hat like that, like, okay, I guess that's what we take here.
It was so weird because Pastry and I were building up this big standoff of like, it's going to be a 4-1 around a major objective or something. And then it's like, nah, we just running it down mid. I was like, okay.
Game's over.
I guess that's that one way to end it. Just ignore them and kill
forgot about the lost late game objective, which is mid lane, I guess.
It's the Nayram objective. All right, come on.
The last bit of macro is like, Baron, Elder Dragon, nah.
Yeah.
Just go.
But I think that the biggest thing for me is we saw a lot of the pieces we set up before the series in the game itself, all unfolding. We had Kenvi start off on an incredible Viego star, one of his bread and butter champions, but XU able to come clutch with some kicks and the macro decision making from Dignitas.
I think that was a big part of why they were able to run away with that game. It was back and forth, but I felt like 100 Thieves made more egregious mistakes at a couple different points. Most importantly, I think, was that Dragon where they actually kept Gamsu in top lane and they initially got a kill onto JJ, I think it was. And then they tried to contest that Dragon out of nowhere and they get wiped, and that leads to the first Baron. I think that's a moment that hurt them way more than anything else in the game.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the early game looked really good. Singing Bucio's praises again, I think that Braum looked great. I would be surprised if he gets it again, but I think after you beat it, it's like, well, we didn't need it. It's like, yeah, I don't know if that's how that works, but sometimes results-oriented thinking can get you in tricky places. But yeah, Dig just had full control of the 5v5s. Spawn got a couple extra kills. JJ's hooks didn't miss, it looked like, in the mid-game, and very hard to win a game where XU is already trying to make your life difficult, and the Cassio Jinx part of your enemy comp gets enough leverage that you can never 5v5 or never get ahead enough where you can execute your plans. So really solid game from Dig, and it was fun watching Darkwings navigate on Cassio. I hope he plays something similarly out of the box again.
Well, and I don't know if you guys got a chance. I know you guys were casting, but we were tagged with some very interesting picture, a very interesting screenshot on Twitter of us.
Oh yeah.
But it all centered around XU and the feeling you get when it's left open and when he's able to pilot his champion. So going into the second game, draft has to be of utmost importance for 100 Thieves and making sure they take away some of these comfort pieces for XU and for the entire squad of Dignitas.
I think XU getting one of his signature champions, being the Lee Sin, it showed how well he can navigate that champion. A lot of good Lee Sins have good plays in the early game. They'll find kills, but I think what makes great Lee Sins is their ability to make plays still happen in the mid to late game. And like we said, serving up a lot of those kicks was huge. I can see maybe them trying to take that away or ban it out. And Bucio, who had the great game on the Braum from yesterday, was not nearly as effective today.
Yeah, I'm curious if they want to play through a different lane or just have an earlier point of power. I think it was intended to be Gamsu in that game with his counter pick of Jace, but could never get up there and really tip the scales in that matchup. So I think if you're going to pick something like the Rise Jace special, as Mark was alluding to, make sure you play to the Jace side of the map because that's the one point you picked, especially in your solo lanes, to actually snowball the game for you. Or at least make the early game easier and not what happened.
Yeah, and I guess that's where the next part of the conversation goes, right? We have put a lot of focus onto Kenvi versus XU, and that is still an integral matchup to this next game. But I want to check back in on this mid lane matchup. You guys were talking a lot on the cast of the Rise and the tanky style build not being able to kind of put up the same numbers that the Cassiopeia on the other side, who's just putting in damage. Do we see that adaptation in the Rise? Do we see that a different pick come out for Jimian? I just wonder like what that approach will be, because some stability in the mid lane is definitely needed, but you also got to back it up with some damage.
I feel like the tank Rise is like just the meta of what Rise is right now. So it's not like I outright hated the build, but it felt like a time where maybe you should have adapted to the game state where you're kind of against Cassio on the side lanes for a large portion of the game. That armor doesn't do much then. And then your team's going to need a lot of damage, and you definitely end up kind of low damage. So I don't know. It was tough to say. That was a wonky game state that they ended up in against 4 Mountain Dragon Soul Point. Like, it's just like, all right, how many times do you go up against this? Do you really know what build's optimal there? I do like his Rise generally, so I wouldn't be opposed to them going back to it and just, like Pastry said, have a little bit better execution of the game plan.
Yeah, I keep seeing tank Rise, and I've yet to see, at least in NA, lots of like successful tank Rise comps. Because like Rise obviously very powerful. Tank Rise I think is extremely frustrating to play against, and Rise is a great champion, especially if you have the hands for it. But I just feel like you run into the same problems where it's like your team just doesn't have cohesion. Like, it's Rise, for a champion that is so centralizing, I feel like he doesn't like pull. It's like weird. He's like facilitating for your team, yet he needs like to vacuum all the farms. So I don't know. It's an interesting one. I guess we'll see if he goes for it again, if it plays out differently. Because I know it can be successful. I just haven't seen that much of it, unfortunately.
Yeah, we'll see how that all unfolds, guys, because I do hear we are ready for our second champ select of the day. So let's go ahead and send it on that way.
Alrighty then, Mr. Mark Z. I don't think we'll see too many changes here at the start of it all. We'll get the drafting on screen, of course, ASAP.
Yeah,
but I can't imagine the obvious power picks will not get banned away. That seems to be in just about every meta in League's existence. There are certain things you have to take away. So Thresh, Caitlyn, Zeri, and Karma are the first 4 bans here.
Yeah, a bit of a salty run back so far. 100 Thieves staying on red side. It's something that I feel like has been seen a fair amount in my brief time in Academy, is that teams will often stay on the same side, trying to execute on some particular strategy. Here, they kind of keep the bans. I think the Trinamir is different, if I'm not mistaken, than what they banned last time. I can't remember what the last ban was on blue side. But here, they, instead of taking the Jinx right away, they take the Lee, which I think is really smart. I think that's XU and Dig kind of getting a read that Kenvi wants to take that one away. And so instead of that, we'll play either side of Jinx Aphelios, but we definitely want the Lee Sin for XU again.
Yeah, I like this a lot. I mean, I think XU, obviously, his comfort pick in a tough jungle matchup, made it sing in game 1, so more than happy to take it here again as Dig are looking for the 2-0. Jinx does continue to feel like, apart from Zeri, I suppose, which is for a different reason, like the AD you want, but Aphelios is a fine answer here, so Spawn and JJ will play that side of the matchup as you predicted, and Kenvi, I think predictably takes Viego, but it did look good, so I think there's nothing wrong with taking it. It's just you kind of lose maybe some agency you're looking for from your jungler.
Very much a run back of game 1 with that slight adaptation of swapping.
Drill.
Yeah, is this the same feed? We just play the same game? No, they obviously they swapped the 80 carries. Jinx has a little bit more power in the early game. You can get a little bit easier shove with the rockets. You can get flame chompers if you can get all-ins and stuff, but doesn't actually synergize that well with Braum in terms of kits. Like, he protects her, she's a hyper carry. Yes, obviously there's synergy there, but in the laning phase, they don't do anything that crazy together. Quite like a Braum with Red Gun. Aphelios can kind of like get a lot of hits off really quickly, or you get the chain CC with Gravitum, or you can start it out with Gravitum easily. You know, like chompers can only be follow-up, so it's a little less synergy than the Aphelios for the Braum.
Yeah, for sure, but still pretty stable. Again, like Bucio's hands on the pick, so good to see that one there. Ride's actually banned on the Thieves side this time around. Gnar and Jax the other 2. So Graves top lane, I'm going to assume, unless Jimian is really going to be sending it. Should be solo lane Graves there for Gumsu.
Yeah, most likely. Mid lane, like you said, the ban with the Rise getting taken out. The Jax was banned out last time. I believe Victor was banned last time as well.
Yes.
So we'll have to see what they want to do. The Rise, I guess they just don't want it in Darkwing's hands. So they're trying to force him onto something a little different here, as well as giving counterpick again to Jimmy. And he got counterpick last time. Or did they take the rise early? They took the
No,
rise
they took
early.
the rise early, yeah, and then counterpicked with Gumshoe's Jace. So they're doing it the reverse this time, taking the Graves blind, and then that's giving Dig the chance to counterpick for Eclipse. Akali this time around for either Dark Wings or Eclipse. Definitely a viable champion in either spot. But if that is Camille locked in, that's obviously going to be Akali mid there for Dark Wings, which should be fun. Akali blind especially can sometimes be a bit spicy, but she has a decent matchup spread. You're not really, like, your laning phase isn't the reason you pick Akali really anyway, so as long as you can get through the lane, which you can for the most part, in I think most matchups I can think of off the top of my head, you're gonna be fine.
Yeah, it's still, like you said, spicy draft overall. Basically 4 champs that want to go in and an Aphelios with no peel. We'll see if it works out. They also have the Braum, which can be a little annoying to play assassins into, and they get the counter pick Sylas. I feel like I've been seeing a little bit more Sylas, especially in Academy. It's been picked into Ahri here. It's going into the Akali. You have a couple good ultimates to steal. Most notably, Nautilus feels really good for Sylas. The Akali ult as well, just giving a lot of execute on the AP ratio and some more positioning tools. So Jimmy ain't going to be throwing down the gauntlet against Darkwings here.
Or the chains, as it will, but should be a very fun mid lane matchup. We did see like some early interaction in the mid 1v1, and then like they just kind of farmed out for the rest of it, and like the jugglers and supports came to mid lane. Should be quite a bit more interaction in the 1v1, and obviously they're both very potent in skirmishes as well. I think especially Sylas earlier on Akali kind of needs her ulti to get stuff done, which is one of the few weaknesses, is even a weakness of the champion, but should be a really explosive mid lane matchup with 2 melee AP threats going up against each other.
Yeah, Akali in a lot of range matchups. But the nice thing about Sylas is that if she's like skirting around in her shroud, the chained whip will still kind of hit her. But I doubt Sylas, it's going to be a little bit how that you play it out. I'm more interested in the Graves Camille matchup because they picked the Camille into the Graves. You'll be able to hop on him and kill him, but I would expect that to still be a pretty Graves favorite matchup in the very early levels. So we'll have to see exactly where Dig want to try to punish early with XU this time around, because it's not as clear. I think they're going top again to punish Gamsu. We'll see if they are able to be as successful as they were in game 1, where they found that initial kill with the Renekton combination right away.
Yeah, for sure. And the trick is, like, if Graves gets going, it is just miserable.
Yeah.
Like, he perma pushes the waves, he constantly can fight you. Graves in general, like, I don't even know what you're supposed to pick against it. I think you are supposed to pick on it in the early game / the mid game. I don't think you can really pick something in lane that you can like obliterate as a counter pick. So I actually really like this blind from 100 Thieves in general. Gamsu obviously wants to be on the aggressive side of his top lane matchups here, and he's going to have that opportunity on the Graves this time around.
Yeah, this champion as well, though, that if you don't play it well, you kind of get destroyed even in some of the matchups you counter pick it in. Like Gwen's, I see beat Graves all the time, even though it's a Graves counter pick. Jace can be taken into the Graves and beat him. It's not 100% safe, but I think it was kind of saying Eclipse doesn't have something that they think he's going to play. But Eclipse had a much better game today, than he had yesterday. Eclipse got absolutely blown out in the CLG series. Their top side as a whole got obliterated, XU included, while Spawn and JJ were kind of the bright points for them. But that was a much better game 1, where it felt like XU, Eclipse, and Darkwings were kind of comboing together to be the power points on the map, until Spawn, through team fighting, got super fed.
Yeah, and we'll see if that happens again, but I am expecting, again, more stable bot lanes into the top side pressure for both these teams. Obviously, eyes on XU for the early game, because he is once again going to be trying to play aggressively. He's going to get a leash this time around. We're actually same side of the jungle, just different jungle getting a leash. A little bit more info with Spawn and JJ getting to lane late, as Busio and Wixie are just chilling.
Yeah, I just don't think they want to contest the push early on. We already talked about how Jinx will usually control that wave, but then especially with Braum in the mix, the Dig bot lane is more than happy to sack the early priority to get their Lee Sin off the ground, and there was a nice ward as well by 100 Thieves to spot the Raptor camp out, so they were going to know where he started anyways.
Yeah, if you want kind of indicator of how these lane matchups are going, you can see Gamsu is already at it with the fleet footwork, trying to get aggressive onto Eclipse, and Darkwings actually has Ring, which is not something Akali often gets the luxury of taking. You can see Doran Shield, you can see like 5 Rejuve beads, or however many you get in some matchups as well. I've seen that top lane, so definitely Darkwings feeling pretty comfy there in this melee matchup, kind of as you were saying. And Gamsu, right, as we said, this is exactly where he wants to be, probably every game.
Pushing.
Yep, pushing, yeah. playing the aggressive side of the matchup, and just, having a good time.
Yeah, he's going to go for an early deport off this shove. Going to spot out XU, know exactly where he is and when they need to be careful. overall, some nice early jungle tracking on XU this time around, so he can't get that first blood most likely. And like you said, Akali, that's what I was saying. Akali is one of those, there's some champions who, like, if they can get on top of you, they're a nightmare, like a Darius. But if you're a ranged champion who has a little bit of mobility or, you know, some tools to make sure that the Darius isn't able to just crap on you, then suddenly Darius's life sucks. And Akali kind of falls into that category with the Q spam. Against some melee matchups, you just kind of eat those over and over and you fall behind. And that's why you can see the Dornan ring start here.
Oh, love this from Kenvi. Oh no,
he's
asleep at the
shopping.
wheel. Oh, he's shopping. It's Kenvi with the first blood.
Trying to pick out his next item out of the store, ends up going down. Oh no, Kenvi, get revenge on XU.
Yep, caught on the security footage in the Walmart. XU taken out there by Kenvi. Really nice use of the information that his team gave him, though. Like, Kenvi knew exactly where XU was going to end up and just waltzed into the enemy jungle and waited.
Yeah, it was really smart. Like you said, using the vision that Gamsu got, he sits in the brush and waits. And then once he sees XU channeling the recall for a little bit, he's like, okay, he's in the shop right now. I feel like there's a little bit of mind gaming where you have to wait on the recall a little bit until you're pretty sure he's clicking around trying to find the item he wants. Am I getting long swords? We get these pots. Let's go.
Yeah. It's really nicely done there for Kenvi. Burns a flash, but well worth the kill that he gets out of it. So first blood over to the 100 Thieves jungler. Darkwings and Jimmy continuing to fight, but things staying even though Darkwings was having a good time and still having a good time right now. And Busio and Wixie, they're chilling. They don't have the push right now as JJ is once again on the Glacial Augment situation, but don't expect too many fireworks in the 2v2, but if junglers want to visit, if they want to leave their lane, definitely a different story.
Yep, I think JJ quietly had a pretty nice game on that Nautilus. It was a situation where he died a couple times, but not so bad. Hold on here.
Oh, missing that E sucks for Lee Sin, and now Kenvi gonna try and make him pay. Going for the fight. Kenvi just getting in there, and XU, he just can't get out of there. Kenvi gonna possess him, and now the stun comes through. Darkwings with the flash, trying to make the play, but no ulti here for Akali. Just feels so rough, and Jimmy is gonna nab himself the double kill.
Oh my lord, this is a terrible start to the game now for Dignitas. Maybe Eclipse can save it a little bit. He's got
Eclipse
some pressure
does
in the top
have
lane.
Ignite. Oh, goodness. Thought he was gonna take another tower shot. Does not. But Gamsu getting pressured as well there.
Yeah, so Gamsu almost got dove under this replay, and this was just a situation, like you said, the Lee Sin E missed, couldn't get the slow then for the chase down auto attacks, and then enough CC available for Kenvi to go ahead and double killed out of the replay.
Yep.
What
happened.
Were you watching the replay or the
I was on.
live?
I was like, oh, what's happening? Let me watch this Kenvi thing again. No, 2v2 scuffle happened, and Dignitas lost. It's Wixie this time, the Jinx with the early kills. So maybe Jinx is just blessed this series, not too sure. But it's carnage across the map here for both sides here. 100 Thieves coming out the better end of it in 2 of the 3 different lanes. And as we know, that ain't bad.
Not bad at all. Wixie, despite dying, did get both the kills. So already feeling much better than the previous game.
Oh, JJ, nice dodge there from Jimmy in. Love that with Silas. When you hit 6 before them, you can take their ulti. But now actually maybe going to be put to use here. Jimmy can't get over the wall. Not since they changed the old Akali R. So he's not going to be able to help Kenvi out there as he tries to get aggressive.
Nope, able to use his advantage quite well. Kenvi's going to be trying to snowball. Here's that 2v2 again. The hook in by Nautilus. Oh, Lord. This is exactly what you don't do. This is what I was talking about. When you try and go in, you're not as strong as you used to be. Braum is one of the most annoying champions in the early game with those stuns coming through. It was very close. I will grant them that. It was not more than 100 HP left on Busio as well, but still got punished.
Oh, JJ.
The fake
out. The Hex Flash doesn't quite find them. I'm assuming he was guessing where they were, or maybe didn't want to go for the engage,
I don't think he wanted to go for it. I think he was
he
channeling it to say maybe he can go, but he went in the brush and be like, no, I don't want to do this.
All right. Yeah, probably a good choice. Given the 100 Thieves get themselves their first dragon up almost to 1,000 gold. Excuse me. No, almost 2,000. I was there. 1,600 right now for the Thieves. There we go.
A pretty big lead, given that I expected this comp was not expecting to smash the early game right out the gate. Yes, you have pressure in the top side. Of course, Lee and Viego can go back and forth, but just the fact that they have won quite literally every skirmish they've taken has been a huge boon for them. And it's probably going to be one of those games, like one of these all-in comps that Dignitas has. If things start going sour, they go sour very fast. You kind of just are jumping into your death at that point.
Yep. And again, Thieves continue to be aggressive. XU is trying to find some pressure once more. No level 6, but might not need it. Q's going to land. Busio is finally going to be touchable as the Unbreakable runs out, but not going to die. No gravity gun left there for spawn.
Nice flame chompers by Wixie, as well as Busio saving his W so that he can kind of throw the chompers down, hop back over them, and then because there's no flashes available from all the heavy skirmishing, no one can flash over the chompers. And, you know, that's just a small window where if XU had that flash, guaranteed kill, but without it, an escape by the 100 Thieves bot lane.
Yeah, Kenvi, in the meantime, is doing some counter jungling. Gonna rip through that poor Grump, takes 90 gold out of the Dignitas jungle, and sees the blue buff and thinks, no, I will not hit that, I'll hit the Rift Herald instead. Definitely ultra greedy to try and go for more, but he's gonna start this Herald off, does get spotted there by Eclipse, so he's gonna have to be a bit careful, but we'll get out. Eclipse looking for the ult, he finds it, and here's Busio on the other side. Jimmy in here now for the 3v3. 100 Thieves back away.
I'm a little surprised Kenvi tried to start that up, given that Gamsu just took a recall, does not have teleport. They were going to get shoved off that no matter what. You know that they probably reset on bot lane as well after that initial gank attempt. So surprised that 100 Thieves wanted to go for that. I mean, it was also an over-aggression by Dignitas thinking they can kill Kenvi there, but still a little surprised that that reset timing by Gamsu just not on the same page at all with the rest of the team.
Yeah, a little bit of thanks for the leash there by Dignitas as XU does pick up the Rift Herald. And we'll get that blue buff, actually. At the end of the day, have enough pressure to take this out. So Kenvi with a strong individual lead once again here in this early game. And this time, XU hasn't had the same amount of effectiveness in his early games. He's playing a little bit behind this Viego right now.
Yeah, that play that he went for on the bot side allowed his top side of the map to kind of get... Oh, hold on.
Oh, letting it rip. Beyblade style, they're spawning with the chakrams, and that's a shutdown.
All right, JJ making some plays happen on the bot side as we see a little bit of trading up here. Just nice hex flash over the wall lockdown, and because they knew exactly, you know, where the CC is going to land, that allows Spawn to shoot his ult out from very far away in the white gun follow up, having enough damage to finish off Wixie despite trying to heal through it.
I love hex flash. Feels like, you know, it's build your own Shaco Q. You know, you don't get the invisibility, but all you need is just to get over the wall. And effective enough there for a tower dive there. And even the drop here is going to give Spawn a bunch of bonus money. Again, another grab onto Busio. Darkwing's here as well, going for the second target. Instead, it is going to be Busio. He will be forfeit. Wow. Darkwings gets that kill, but no chase up on a Kenvi.
All right, I thought that Dignitas was going to be in a lot of trouble based off how bad the early skirmishes went, but a couple mistakes by 100 Thieves just being uncoordinated. We talk about the Gamsu mistake on the reset when they want to go for Rift Herald. That allows Dignitas to grab that. Busio had moved up to the top lane during that time, which meant Wixie was alone in the bot lane. And during that small window where they're trying to rotate their men back down there, he dies. And then Busio follows right after, you know, basically in the river there. So a lot of mistakes, one leading into the other, now means that DIGA right back in this game.
And I will say, like, just watching these two games, obviously Dig's like individual talent is here, but their team play is really nice. Like, I don't know if it's, you know, XU is the jungler calling a lot of this early game stuff. I don't know if it's JJ, you know, the most experienced player on this roster doing some of that heavy lifting, but whoever is like calling and however Dignitas like build their team and how their comms and their practice work, it's looking really nice up here. Because even in, you know, situations like this where they're trying to claw back some gold and even up the game again, which they've now done, the way they like think about, you know, what windows they have, how they should move, who can be there, is really nice to watch. And I think we see some of that from 100 Thieves, but not quite on the same page, even though, again, they obviously have the talent to back it up.
Okay, so someone tell Whippa we got Hullbreaker Graves coming in. Not the most common item on the Graves. Yes, you can build it. I would have expected to see this more in like one of those Smite Janna top games where you're just going to be perma pushing. It does have an insane gold efficiency with the resist that it gives whenever you're isolated, and it does help your push if you hit the turrets, but it's not a great item for a champion that actually wants to be dealing damage to other champions. It doesn't really give you that. It's kind of a weird mix between a bruiser item and a tank item, and to help you push. So while he will have the shove on the Camille just with his abilities, as the game progresses, it actually usually loses efficiency when you group up more.
Right. Well, you know, if Gamsu's play last game is any indicator, he may not be grouping with his team very much. So, you know, it definitely plays into the style of game he was playing as Dragon goes over to Dig, but Kenvi looking for the 1v1 onto Eclipse. Ignite onto the Viego, dodging on the ultimatum almost, but Kenvi's got the deeps. He is going to get the burn, and Kenvi finds the proxy solo kill against the enemy top laner. I guess Gamsu helped technically, gets an assist.
Yeah, I mean, he burned Gamsu down, or excuse me, Eclipse down pretty low, Gamsu did, but I gotta give credit to Eclipse playing that one mechanically pretty well. I'm not sure if he should have just tried to stay under turret for Darkwing's TP to potentially come in and help out, and then maybe you turn that play. Trying to run straight through Kenby was definitely a bold choice, and him alting Kenby's ult was a nice little play there, but just with how far ahead the Viego is at 201, he has a lot of damage. He's basically as strong as any of the soul laners, and so trying to be half health and run right through him was a dangerous decision.
And of course, that leaves Hullbreaker Gamsu just chilling.
Yeah.
In the top lane, having a great time. Gets a bunch of plates there. Keeps pushing the waves. Actually, you might even see, we actually see a swap here from Dig. They're like, yeah, I'm out of here. Put somebody else up there.
Well, I mean, during that time, they also took the bot lane turret because that initial Rift Herald charge was down there. So when Kenby showed, I'm pretty sure XU pressured around that bot lane, and they kind of had to sack it. So for Dig, they're like, all right, yeah, good enough. Trade's not so bad, and now the Hullbreaker Graves is going to 2v1, or he's going to join me down here.
I don't know if Eclipse wanted to cancel that recall, but didn't get to do it, unfortunately. Darkwing's there flipping out. Jimmy did pop the Akali ulti there. He's going to run towards the team. JJ may be a target, but should be relatively safe here as the Nautilus. Although, as we mentioned, Nautilus is definitely not as tanky as he looks, especially with Glacial Augment, but JJ is going to stay nice and safe here.
Just getting some pressure down early on, dropping some wards for the Rift Herald respawn, which should be coming in soon. And both teams flipping up to the bot lane. Turret plating has fallen. Gamsu with the Hullbreaker also giving these stats to the minions. Hold on. We'll see it all in here, maybe. No.
Not yet.
No Ignite. Probably not going to try and force it without that.
Right. Does have Thunder Reload finish, so first item also done for Camille. In general, Eclipse actually seems fine in this matchup. Even had some pressure where he maybe could have tried for a 1v1. But Gamsu has just been doing his thing. Again, when you buy an item like Hull Breacher, I don't think you're kind of showing to your opponent that I don't really want to interact with you. I'm more interested in your minions. So see if the Gamsu side lane express continues here, because for right now, that's definitely what he wants to be doing. Eclipse eating the wrong end of that line and taking way too much damage.
Yeah, trying to get an aggressive trade, trying to get the grass proc with the Divine Sunder, I think, off, but kind of had to walk right through the end of the line, like you said. And Graves' damage is still no joke, man. You can't just base tank the base ratios.
Jimmy at it again. Oh, this Everfrost all-in is sick. Jimmy looking for a Darkwing's flipping at Jimmy and finds the execute.
Darkwings doesn't know where he is. He got lost under the sauce and ended up under his enemy's turret as well while getting all in. Good job by Jimmy and sticking on top of him, though, showing that counter pick how strong Silas can be when he actually has Akali's ultimate.
Gamsu does have ulti here. Oh, Eclipse very nicely done on the all-in, but Gamsu just shuts it down.
Eclipse trying to make it happen, not too far off in terms of damage, but he eats that Graves ult right to the face. Absolutely obliterated. And like we said, waiting for the Ignite to come up still wasn't enough even.
Yeah, that was the classic, like, Machete Twirler versus the Revolver. Right there. That's, dancing around, spinning, got all these sick moves, like elegant, like long blade, and Gamsu's just like, nah, dog. Just blast the shotgun and Camille explodes.
Yeah, nice try there by Eclipse, but kind of falling out of the game now, 0-2-0. And Graves has gotten a lot of turret plates as well, so gonna have even more gold than you would initially think, just looking at the kills and farm. As we'll see, maybe Darkwings wants revenge.
Ooh, getting some. No ulti, though. So, yeah, can't chase Jimmy in. Jimmy just dashes over the wall to safety. Unlucky
there. So, right now, 100 Thieves, despite a little bit of a hiccup around that Rift Herald timing, seems to have gotten control back in this game. 1.5k gold lead in their favor. Still have the second Rift Herald as well. Eventually, Kenby will probably drop that, I would assume, maybe for the Graves, if you want him to be on perma-split pushing duty. Accelerating him seems like a good idea to me.
I think so. And Jimmy also having a good time. And once again, it's the mid lane and jungle of 100 Thieves that's feeling good here in the early stages of this game. Jimmy's going to go ahead and catch the top wave. Darkwing's going to go ahead and recall. Has the Riftmaker done. Great hook there in mid lane. Busio just can't save this Jinx. Even XU joining the party to get the kick there. And now Busio is going to have to flash, but that is not enough. It's a double kill for Spawn.
Wow. JJ coming up clutch on the Nautilus again. He's probably secretly the whole reason this game is even close. I mean, he has 100% kill participation. Hold on, your teleport coming in behind.
Kenby at it again. JJ locking him up. Jimmy in. Oh, that's filthy! He stole the Nautilus ultimate, takes out Spawn, and JJ's not going to be left for dead, but XU's just trying to save him, and there's nothing he can do. And now Kenvi reconfigured the Nautilus Q. Onto XU we go. Eclipse is here, but Jimmy and is chasing on through. The two strongest members of the Thieves in a 2v3. Jinx ulti coming through, and Kenvi's on a rampage. This is just disgusting. Gets the shield off the Lee Sin that he stole. Gets himself a double. Reset after reset. Kenvi looking like closer as he possesses everyone and gets himself a triple kill.
Kenvi absolutely popping off in that fight, starting it with Jimmy and both them just stealing abilities left and right. They're, I don't know, there's got to be some pairing of Thieves that I need to learn about, because not only are they on 100 Thieves, they're also stealing abilities left and right. This is some research I got to do for the next time I cast in a 100 Thieves game, because that was sick. And speaking of JJ, you know, leading to all the kills in this game, he again led to that kill. During this time, there was a chase down sequence in the bot lane while all that stuff was popping off in the mid lane. Gamsu is just going to get collapsed on with Dark Wings coming in from the side. I believe he TP'd into that position. But then from here, yeah, like you said, initially, Jimmy steals the Nautilus ultimate. Then they kill Nautilus, and then Kenvi becomes Nautilus to use the rest of his abilities in this sequence. It was just insane, as well as the Lee Sin being able to get stolen and having, you know, all those extra abilities to help try and protect Jimmy in. Unfortunately, he does go down right at the very end there, but I think that was still 5 kills in total. I think they technically aced them there.
Yeah, that was absolutely nasty there by Kenvi. Now 6-0-2 on the Viego. Good support there from Jimmy to make it all happen. And Gamsu also got the bottom tower in the replay as well, and they're going to get mid here with this Herald by the looks of things. So 100 Thieves really opening up this game as Gamsu finally joins the team to basically shoot the tower once. And I imagine he's going to be walking off back to the side lane now.
Moral support for him there. Just take a look at these gold leads. Oh boy.
Ooh.
Mid and jungle looking very good. 2,000 gold advantage for Kenvi over XU. XU got the better of him game 1, but Kenvi will not go quietly into the night as he gets caught here.
Okay, maybe a recall spot you didn't want to pick. Darkwing's always tried to find the angle with the E. Basically had to guess, and Kenvi finds the escape alongside Gamsu, but Chase is not done. Oh, this looks dicey. XU hunting in the brush, finds one. Gamsu's gonna probably leave him. Yep, sorry Kenvi, I gotta go. Good luck in your 1v3. Nice dodge on that first Q, still getting spotted in the camouflage. Kenvi's still running for it. I mean, Viego's pretty good at escaping. Great flash. He's going for it. Really going for it. Running towards the waiting arms of Busio. Kenvi, he's going to be fine. He gets out of there. Gives him the run around top lane. Jimmy's going to all in the Camille and just gets it beautifully there. 1v1 under the tower with the Silas.
The whole team's looking at Kenvi and Gamsu, and during that time, Jimmy finds a solo kill onto Eclipse. Oh my lord. And then the mid lane turret, I think, was also potentially, no, it's just some damage down onto it, but Jimmy grabs the top inner turret. That's now, I believe, 5 turrets in their side. 4 turrets for Dignitas down. That is painful this early into the game.
Yep. A lot of pain. Only 1 tower on the other side. Of course, they have the bottom outer. They got quite early, but that first Rift Herald feels like a long forgotten memory for Dignitas at this point. They're down almost 5,000 gold. Kenvi has Death Dance now finished. We have Immortal Shield Blow done now for Gamsu, so his Mythic's finished alongside that whole Breacher. And like we said, when he doesn't have to leave, Gamsu's not leaving. Party doesn't stop.
Why is he leaving then? Where are you going,
Okay,
Gamsu?
that's true. I don't know why he's leaving.
He has wards too. I'm a little surprised to see him back off there. They do have the jungle entrances mostly taken care of. Maybe he's concerned about wards behind him leading to TPs. It's potential. There is a pink ward in lane that maybe he's going back to deal with right now, actually, to make sure that he can't get TP flanked in the log lane. That's actually a pretty heads-up play by Gamsu on the minimap. You can see him pulling that one off. Well done, making sure he doesn't leave himself exposed.
Yeah, at least from the obvious points, right? Like, if you can't see the ward, you get TP'd on. All right, unlucky. But if you know where the ward is, you know, it's visible on your screen. Definitely takes worth the time to do some administrative work, you know? Gamsu's filing the paperwork here in bottom lane. What else are you going to do? Plenty of time here in the bottom lane, let me tell you. Putting the snowballs back in the cannon. He's 2 levels up on Eclipse. Gamsu just, like, doesn't care at all.
Yeah, with the shield bow build, too, these small trades that Eclipse is going for are actually totally fine with him. He can just heal right back up.
Going for something here. 3v5 in the works. Grab on a Gamsu, ulties himself out, gets ulted up by Nautilus. The rest of DIGA here. Darkwings with the execute, and now that's 2 kills. Over to Dignitas. They just keep finding angles, but at what cost? As mid lane's gonna get broken there by Wixie, who's letting the Jets go there with the minigun. Takes out 1 tower. Jimmy's gonna work on another. Is gonna be able to crack this top lane here. No inhibitors, but a very costly price for those 2 kills.
I think Dignitas felt like they had to do something. You know, they've fallen pretty far behind this game. 4,500 gold. Do only technically lose 1 turret, I believe, for. Maybe they finished off the mid lane one as well. 100 Thieves had vision of that whole play coming. I think they thought they could just outplay it. They're definitely feeling themselves a little bit right now. But again, the Graves, once his team is with him, becomes substantially weaker. All those extra resists that he felt like he had when he was fighting Eclipse 1v1, they're gone right now. You are not nearly as strong as you thought you were just a moment ago in the 1v1. Plus, you're fighting 5 people, so it's going to quickly drop off.
Can we at least get away from that? Doesn't give away the 3rd kill. Remains deathless so far in this 2nd game. But gold getting cut down a little. Dig definitely happy to buy time. Happy to get gold for themselves here.
And I will say, the Hullbreaker purchase, I don't personally like a lot of Hullbreaker purchases myself. I would argue this one as well. But if you're going to play it, at least, you know, like, tell your team to go away. You know, like, if they're going to commit extra resources to deal with the Graves, you potentially could have grabbed that mid lane turret, like you were saying, with the Jinx. Then you suddenly are taking inhibitors, potentially, and getting a lot bigger of a lead from this split push-oriented Graves. But when they collapse to try and help you, you're actually just hurting you even worse versus getting, I don't know, Baron as well, because Baron was up during that time. They all could have just moved down there.
Oh my goodness, that's so many passive procs.
Yeah.
Little remix there from Jimmy in there on the bottom side as Dignitas know what they have to do. Kenvy's on the Dragon. Get that information, but Dig are on the Baron, and they must know because Jimmy is TPing out of there. Busio gets the information.
They know it's going down. It's going down pretty slowly. Spawn is not particularly strong, and they don't have anyone else to really deal damage to the Baron. So Aphelios by his lonesome will not do it fast enough to put much pressure down. They do get the TP out of Jimmy, and it's a nice little win, but Gamsu is probably just flipped down there himself so they can keep this pressure up. And it's now actually 100 Thieves starting out in the Baron.
Yeah, basically, again, thanks for the leash. Dignitas going to be forced to commit here. Darkwing's TPing in. Busio with the ulti finds 2. JJ forced to flash away. Good knock up there from the Nautilus. And now Dig, maybe they can win the rest of the team fight. They've lined it up perfectly. JJ again sets it up. And Jimmy is trying to make it happen with the stolen Akali ultimate. But they perfectly get the stun out of stasis. And Dignitas find 4 clean kills.
Oh my god. 100 Thieves hard force around the Baron. Gamsu's there as well. They don't have any split push pressure before they set that one up. And Dig are able to kite it out, protecting Spawn. This monstrous AD carry 2 games in a row, getting fed in team fights with this objective bounty gold that they're grabbing as well. Basically equalizes the game, and it definitely will be right after. So taking a look at this, they try so hard to finish off JJ right away. And he actually lives a surprisingly long time, able to kite that one out. Spawn's free hitting this entire time on the Aphelios, just popping off. Then nice ult there as well. The AoE gun doing so much damage. Gamsu just not much of a factor by the time he shows up. Super unlucky. And now in a lot of trouble.
Yep, took top lane out in that replay as well. Little objective bounty once again for them. So they basically equalize this game. They're down 600 gold. Which is nothing compared to the hole they were in, it feels like just a moment ago. And Dignitas again, talents there individually, but the team fighting. JJ continues to set things up here for the squad.
Yeah, I think JJ has been a huge factor. I was trying to hype him up right before that long death sequence. He's made a lot of good plays in the bot lane and punishing 100 Thieves whenever they move members away from a particular point on the map. And right there, knowing that he needed to go in and stop that Baron, did a great job of interrupting them, getting them to try and focus him, living an extended period of time, and buying space for the rest of Dignitas to actually be the ones killing 100 Thieves.
And now they have enough time to do the sieging themselves with this Baron. Can at least get the bottom tier 2 as Darkwings is hoping somebody wants to walk through here. 3 items here for the Akali plus a stopwatch. Feeling pretty safe, and JJ waiting in the wings with the Hex Flash just in case. No customers though.
Yeah, you have Gamsu. Oh, well, never mind. He's CP flanking. I was about to say he was just going to split push in the top lane and try and trade out inhibitors, but now they're going for the fight.
Yeah, going for it now. Eclipse kind of shirking them off there. They can try and make it happen on the Spawn, but Spawn not locked down just yet, but the Everfrost finds him. A shutdown for Kenvy, and that's absolutely disastrous here for Dignitas. JJ going to be left for dead and taken out. They get 1 kill back as Busio falls, but Darkwings just has to dip away as Jimmy is still in pursuit there for XU. 2 for 1 there. 100 Thieves happy to buy time against the Baron buff.
Gamsu getting that TP flank was actually huge. He was not able to just one-shot the Aphelios the way you could if you actually just built damage Graves, which again, little maybe shouldn't
Sussy.
go for a hull breaker. Yeah, I'm not quite sure if I like it, but the idea was huge. I mean, the fact that he was pressuring the top side meant that Darkwings was not in position at all to help his team. This is just a straight up 5v4 that they're fighting. He's not able to kill Spawn, not able to get the ult off, the proc off to stun him, but eventually the rest of 100 Thieves get on top of him as well. After Spawn is dead, the fight's over. We talk about how important he is for this team fight. Darkwings gets a nice cleanup kill, but it's just onto the Braum and not enough to really slow this down. But it does stop this split push from Dignitas. And I think it's important to note that, like, despite how much momentum had shifted, the game state was still relatively even. And going on from here, you would argue potentially still in 100 Thieves' favor a little bit just because they have the dragon stacking on their side in the next 45 seconds. If they can get the soul, they might be able to win this game.
Jimmy and Everfrost, they're going to try and take out XU here. Very nicely done. Jimmy nabs the kill. Now we keep going. Kenvi gets in there on the Viego as Lee Sin now cosplaying. Gets JJ. Looks for the kill on Darkwings, who goes into stasis. But that's going to be a kill. Akali dead, shot down by Wixie.
Just as I was saying, don't count 100 Thieves out yet. Jimmy continues his reign of terror this game, finding a flank, starting it off with the Everfrost, getting all those kills. Whoa. Threatening Eclipse as well there, but just as soon as they obliterate XU, that's such a huge part of the comp down, and there's just not enough space to buy for Spawn to get all that damage out.
And now going to break the inhibitors. Might even just go straight for the base here.
Yeah.
It looks like they want the Nexus. 25 seconds for Darkwings. People dead for quite a while here. They're just going to die, but Kenvi goes straight on in. Gamsu gets the kill. That's the ace they've been looking for, and 100 Thieves in style are going to tie up the series, make it even 1-1 to finish off the week.
Nicely done there by 100 Thieves, getting their minds back into the game after a bit of a throw around the Baron buff and getting some good kills just for good measure. A huge performance by Kenvi and Jimmy in particular, absolutely dominated from the mid-jungle positions and kind of spilled that all over the map.
Yeah, we were wondering, like, what's Viego going to look like again? Obviously looked good, but couldn't maybe convert with the lead he had. Jimmy's Rise also looked good, but, like, got into a situation where he couldn't do anything in game one. And then the Sylas, just a completely different beast. I mean, I feel like Sylas is a jungler that's so good at enabling, a mid laner that's so good at enabling your jungler because he has such consistent CCs, great skirmisher, wants to scrap. That's a combo I'm kind of excited to maybe see more of, like, not just for the value of, like, build your own champion, right? You steal the ulti, you get all the abilities, you can, like, you know, fully take over an enemy's pick, but just the amount of good 2vx that combo can have was really fun to watch.
I definitely think we need to come up with a name for both champions being stolen from the mid-jungle position. I don't know what it is. I'm not one of the clever people, but someone needs to come up with an idea for that. And the other thing I was going to say was just, they're such snowbally champions that they won a number of skirmishes. The initial kill by Kenvi, some great tracking on the wards to allow them to get that XU kill, and then they never slowed down from there.
All right, well, one series is done. We are going to go to a break, but don't go too far. There is still one more series on this stream to round out this Academy Super Week. Don't go too far.